Oh,
Ayo,
little
ayo.
little bunt
Woo.
down the third base line.
Hmm. Oh, if that's against the shift, you're going for a double.
If it's against
Hmm.
the Pirates, I mean, they're definitely
That
baffling.
might be a home run if it's against
There's
Pirates.
no way.
Woo.
Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you had a great week and hope you're looking at an even better weekend. Um, kind of just not the busiest week, but as I ramp up in my new job, sort of like a weird week. Um, but happy to be with you. Like, just hit us up in the comments. Hit us at the link. You see the link is active. Call in now.
Hmm.
Tyler, how are you doing on this Friday?
Doing good, man. Looking forward to a nice weekend. Actually, before the show, went out to my first live sporting event since the Rona. Went out to catch the local high school South area championships for track and field. But then all in all, doing good. Looking forward to a fun weekend. Ron, how you doing today?
On that note, it was very weird. Yes, I worked for the Padres radio station, but I mean, I'm not beholden to the Padres. I work, you know, I live and die by the Dodgers.
True.
But the last one I went to was the Padres spring training game before the what have you, and it got
Mm-hmm.
rained out in the seventh inning. And the first one I went back to was actually a Padres Mets game, which
Yeah.
again, the fact that the Mets are in first place, it's baffling. It is beyond
That
baffling.
division is so bad.
It makes no sense whatsoever. But alas, it was nice to be down there. Shout out to CEO Nick for hooking it
Mm.
up with the maybe sixth or seventh row tickets. Um, just getting back out there though, and hit us in the comments too. Like if any of you guys have been back to a live sporting event with a crowd, it's a different thing. Like it feels more normal. Like kind of
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
even like Tyler was saying, like a high school. Like I would go to any game, like any competitive thing that I'm allowed to go to. I love it. I just want to be there. Like I'll keep score. I don't know, like whatever, like just to watch. But like I'm glad that people are finally able to sort of get back to some kind of like normal thing,
Some kind
watching
of
it.
Saturday.
Some kind of sanity. And he goes down under a barrage of pretzels, pleading with the fans for some kind of sanity.
This is a black day for baseball.
It's a black day for baseball. But thank you guys, as always. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Nick. Feel free to call back in. Also, I don't know why you went ghost. Um, the line is open. Hit the link. You know,
Hmm.
hit us with your comments, takes, thoughts, whatever. And I feel like what I get hate sometimes, but Tyler and I, we're just fans of every sport, and we like soccer. Like, screw it. I mean, I don't like some of soccer. Like, some of it is very wildly annoying to me. But
Sure.
still, it's a sport that's going on, and the Euros did start today.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we had Italy
Ooh.
in a rare, I know allegedly they were going to do this before everything happened, like a anniversary special, like 10 host countries host um, for these like the first game. So the first one, they just kind of delayed that, prolonged that, and then went on with the same format now starting today. So the first game was Turkey at Italy in Rome at the Stadio Olimpico, which I
Mm.
love. You know,
Beautiful stadium.
well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far. Let's not go crazy, but it does hold like 80,000 people, and there is some history there.
Jaime, look, I'm just saying, Jaime agrees.
And as a Roma fan, yes, does have a special kind of place in my heart. But, as far as Lazio, get out of here, fascist pigs. Get out, whatever. But they play there also. But nice to see a big event like this going on. I know, as I said, I think it probably could hold like 80,000. I believe today it was like 16,000, what they said on TV. I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens tomorrow and Sunday with some of these first games, because Italy, in this game, being the host, kind of can't really afford to even tie this game. I mean, Turkey is not like a walkover team. They have talent. All these guys pretty much play on elite teams across Europe, but they did what they had to do. I was kind of disappointed in Turkey, to be honest, but
yeah, I mean, I know there were kind of like a lot of pundits I saw heading into this thing. Turkey's kind of like kind of like a dark horse team. One that maybe if you get long odds on them, might want to place a bet on them. But yeah, I mean, it was a lopsided field for sure. I mean, Italy was in Turkey's half. I would
pretty much from the start. They dominated the game.
I don't think it's hyperbole. Like, it really felt like Italy was in Turkey's half like 90% of the game. Look, Turkey's goalie made some nice saves. Like, he played well. I really felt like you and I were kind of talking beforehand. Like, their biggest issue is they just have no midfield. They have no way of getting that. Like, when they do get that ball from Italy, they have no way of distributing it to their strikers from the back. Like, the backs get it to the midfield, and the midfield turns it over, and then now they're running back to play defense again. So, credit to Italy. Like, hey, look, we both said it before. Italy was not going to give up any goals. Their backs barely had anything to do all game. Like I said, it was just complete dominance from the get-go. Like you said, Italy did have to win it. You're right. Especially being in their own stadium, they had to win. Anything less would have been unacceptable. And took them a half, but they came out and finally got it going and got a nice 3-0 win.
I think the own goal just kind of, all right, now it is totally tilted towards, like, that's when you knew. If you are a Turkish fan, I know we have a big following in Turkey, but
massive.
That's when you're just like, hold on to your butts. Like, either we have to like spring a massive counterattack. Turkey does produce pretty good like attacking players, wingers, even like center forwards. It's not like just a totally inept soccer country by any means.
Not at all. No.
If they lined up right now against the U.S., I think that would be like a death match. And
unless it's the Nations League.
Well, I mean, we own the Nations League.
Yes.
Come and take it. Come and take it. Anyone, if you want it, do you want it? Come and get it.
These colors don't run. These colors don't run.
Do not run. But just very happy to see this actually resume. And actually, the Baron, friend of the program as well, he was like, "Isn't it Euro 2021?" I was like, "No, they're just keeping it going. 2020."
Do you know how much we spent on branding and advertising and merchandise?
We can't go back.
We can't reprint this.
There's no way. So, also the things at the very beginning.
Oh God!
That seriously, I just thought it was so Euro. I thought it was so Euro to its core. Bono appearing somehow via hologram. You had Edge down there also on some kind of imaginary stage. I don't know what it was, but also appreciated this. Bono appears from the clouds. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, bit Palpatine-ish, definitely.
I could see it. I, for one, appreciate our new U2 overlords.
Yeah, that was like I had told you, like I wasn't watching the screen when this came, like when they first started playing, and I didn't hear the announcer say who it was. So like I just hear the music and I'm thinking like, this is Euro. Like, what the hell is this U2 ass sounding band? And then I look on the screen and I'm like, oh, it's a digital U2. Of course, because this is Europe. Of course.
The worst version. If there would be a worse version of U2, it would be the digitally imposed version of U2.
Look,
Just
it's a big European competition. It's either U2 or Aqua. Those are the two choices, and Aqua was busy.
yeah, Aqua. No, they said no, so we had to settle for U2. But also, can we talk about the ball cart? Can we please talk about the ball RC cart? And it didn't even get going. Like at first, it was like,
Kind of took a minute.
all right, the ball's coming out, and then it's like, dude, who is running the servos? Who's running the fucking switch on this? Like, just drive the car out, get it to the ref. I know the Minute Blazers guys were like, what if it just like hits a guy like right in the Achilles and like takes him out for the tournament? Like,
just drops him, yeah.
Massive betting changes involved.
Look, maybe in a very un-European move that that RC car was actually run on diesel. You know, it takes a while to get going, but once it does, can't stop it.
Oh, the torque alone. I mean, probably could tow that ball up the hill. But I thought, a good start. Just really nice to see this tournament actually get off. And it's only going to get better from here. A lot of storylines. Ronaldo may or may not play in another one of these. Spain with their young team. Italy, as we said, kind of had to win that first game at home. I think it's going to be a wild ride. And then France, I would say, France or England got to be the favorites. The semifinals and final is going to be at Wembley. So just super locked in on this, like very much dialed in and loving seeing this.
Jaime, to answer your question, I mean, I think the Darth Bono theory might support what you're suggesting here. I don't know. But yeah, no, look, I'm glad it's back. I mean, it's going to be, pretty much my mornings this weekend is just going to be, waking up and watching Euro. I think we're going to have 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. But yeah, I'm glad it's here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just forgot I had uploaded that. So yeah, you can see our Saturday schedule. But yeah, glad it's back. It's, again, something to watch in the mornings, and bring it on, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Really, actually looking forward to that first game. I don't know if I will be up in time to see a lot of it, but Wales, Switzerland, I think is pretty much like even money right now. I don't know what the betting line is, but like me personally, I feel like that's going to be a dogfight. Denmark, Finland. Yes, you got Pookie out there, like up top.
Yeah, but that's it.
And that's pretty much it. Yes, but and then you kind of wrap it up with Belgium, Russia. Belgium, I know, is also kind of a lot of hype. I mean, you got the Hazard brothers, Lukaku. Russia, though, I don't know. Once that national anthem kicks in, could change the whole vibe of the whole thing. Tyler and I were texting back and forth. Look, as unabashed USA fans, I still respect a great national anthem. I love the Mexico national anthem.
Yes.
And honestly, I have to say, agree with Tyler. The Russian anthem, like Probably the best national anthem.
It's really good. Although I think we both. I know I had texted you, and you said you actually texted the band the exact same thing. Turkey. I don't know if I'd ever heard the national anthem. That was a damn good anthem.
Pretty
Hearing
strong.
that today.
Pretty
It was a solid
strong.
anthem. But yeah, Russia's is both awe-inspiring and kind of terrifying, which I'm pretty sure is exactly what they were going for.
By design. Like, it's
yeah.
everything that you need in one.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to the Turkish national anthem. Pretty strong, I have to say.
And I will give a shout out. I'm indifferent on the Italian national anthem, but the players like shouting it and screaming it in the pregame today was kind of got me hyped up.
I always look for the people that are singing it. We saw Davies, the Canadian, singing the Champions League anthem. Belongs to no country. Yes.
No, it belongs to all of us.
Anyone that actually cares about soccer, you know that song. Please believe that. So it hits different when you you're always just kind of taking a peek, like, all right, who's singing it? Who's like super locked in, laser focused? Like, they're just, all right, this guy's in the zone. Like, they don't. All right, I respect that. And then the people that look like they just don't care, I just regard them as bums. Like, come on. When that anthem comes on, you gotta stand up.
Oh,
you gotta
yeah,
sing
definitely.
that thing.
Be proud of it. Be proud of it.
But I do see on the celebrity hotline here, which would be in this case the Rollerama celebrity hotline.
Yeah.
CEO Nick joining the program. Yes, it was just announced today that they will be playing a friendly against probably what I would say is probably the youth team of Club Tijuana, and I fully expect them to lose. But Nick, how are we doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you guys today? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, man.
Doing well.
Yes, I'm kind of like, I'm still in the works of trying to figure out, like, hey, as season ticket holders, can we use our ticket for this game? Just so, obviously, like, for the sheer entertainment. Not for the win, for the sheer entertainment.
Can I bet on this game? Because I will take
I guarantee
the C team of Club Tijuana to win this game.
If you
Mark
can bet
it down.
boxing match, you can bet on exhibition football matches. My fault, soccer matches.
Can you bet on this game? Come on now.
Oh,
I have a guy.
Oh, stuff of nightmares, huh? But yeah.
I would say the season ticket privilege probably does not extend to what is recently announced as obviously like an exhibition, but I kind of want to go still. I don't know if I want to go rooting for. I hate the Loyal name so much, but
if you go and you don't want to root for the Loyal, will you wear this bandito mask with the Mexican flag colors on it?
I will fucking wear it.
Absolutely.
I will put it on.
Thank you, Republic of Lucha, by the way. Owned and operated by Phoenix and Pentagon Jr.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But man, it's another thing I wanted to comment on. Great form on the bunt. Great form on that bunt, Ron. You know what? You probably could average more hits than the Mets with that bunt alone. You could probably bring in more runs than the Mets.
I feel like bunting is not that hard. I mean, keep your fingers back, square up, and just, make it happen. You see a lot of guys like that don't know how to bunt, and they have their hands like this, like
covering the barrel. Yeah,
you're gonna die. Like you're gonna be out of the lineup for a long time.
That's begging for broken fingers.
Your fingers are literally gone. But before we get into other sports, for the Fight Doctor later on, I have a question for you. Well, I have a question in regard to certain changes now in the fighting world, but we'll get to that later because it's something that really just came to mind right now.
Noted.
Well, I mean, since we have you on the line, I feel like might as well get into the Fight Doctor
Oh,
and check in on UFC 263 pay per view.
Amazing press conference, by the way, for the I was like, oh man,
Actual fights, not YouTube fights. So
Yeah,
true.
let's head up
True.
the Fight Doctor and see what's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the main event of the evening.
the heavyweight champion of the world,
It's time!
UFC 263 conveniently does rhyme, but
True.
let's dive right into that with the Fight Doctor. I mean, even before we get to the main event, what are you really looking at on the undercard? I know a couple of what I thought were kind of appetizing little fights as well, and I don't want to say little, but just like building up to. So, Fight Doctor, please.
Yeah, look, top to bottom, like really kind of looking over this card, it does have me excited. Normally these big pay-per-views when they have multiple title fights, the rest of the card is kind of lacking. I kind of really like this card top to bottom. A couple fights may not be as exciting, but I think they're important and they do kind of pique my interest. One thing I'm really interested in seeing this fight is, so this one is taking place at the Gila River Arena in Glendale, and historically, one of my least favorite crowds is from the Phoenix Glendale area. They're always the kind of crowd where it's like, if these two dudes aren't sprinting to the middle of the ring and just throwing like crazy, the crowd is booing right away. So I'm curious to see how they're going to react, being that this is, their first fight live in a couple of years probably. I'm curious to see if maybe this crowd will be better or if they're going to be the same shitty crowd as they usually are. So crowd, if you're watching, and I know the entire crowd, everybody that bought a ticket is watching this show. We know this. Be better, all right? Don't just boo automatically if two aren't just throwing.
Appreciate what is going on out there.
To that
And
note, Fight Doctor.
Yes.
So obviously, the crowd, if they're not like pretty much throwing bombs the minute the bell rings for every round, depending how long the match goes, do you feel like? And I've always thought, like, do you feel referees will play to that? Like, all right, like if this went to a ground game, like, do you feel like they'll have some type of kind of like stand them up because this shit might get crazy?
There are some refs that, if two guys are on the ground, and even if the man on top is working, if the crowd starts booing enough, the ref might stand them up, or even be a little bit quicker to start saying, "Hey, like, I need to see some action." It shouldn't be the case, but there are some refs that will react to the crowd and maybe stand guys up a little bit quicker than they should.
Okay. No.
Was that the question you had earlier, or was this?
I'll let you get to this. I just saw something yesterday. I've been following it the whole week, and I was like, maybe it's something. I know for sure that something the Fight Doctor would definitely he can chime in on and kind of get his piece on. But I apologize for cutting it. I apologize. This is all.
No worries, man. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the fight here. Let's start with the main event here. So we have a middleweight title fight between the defending champ Israel Adesanya and the challenger Marvin Vettori. This is, of course, a rematch from their fight in April of 2018, which Adesanya won by a split decision. Adesanya, of course, just had his undefeated streak broken when he went up and challenged Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight title. So now he's sitting at 20-1, I think 15 knockouts to his record here. Vettori, guy that's won 5 straight fights. In fact, since his last loss was Israel Adesanya. Most recently, a couple decision wins over Jack Hermanson and Kevin Holland. Meanwhile, when you look at Adesanya's record since the Vettori fight, like, he's got wins over Derek Brunson, Kelvin Gastelum, Robert Whitaker, Yoel Romero, Paulo Costa, and most of those are finishes, not decisions. So, when I look at it, like I recently heard Marvin Vettori saying, hey, look, I'm a much different fighter than I was then, and I to an extent I think is probably true, but I think Israel is a much different and much better fighter since then. Vettori's the kind of guy that like he goes into every fight saying like, oh man, I'm really gonna take my stand up on this one, and then after the first round when he's being outstruck, just relies on his wrestling, which is fine. He's a fantastic wrestler. But Adesanya, unless you're Jan Blachowicz and outweigh him by 30 pounds, he's not an easy guy to get to. He's not an easy guy to take down. Great kickboxer, outstanding reach. I don't see Vettori winning this one. I think Adesanya is going to retain his belt. Might even finish him. I don't think it'll be an early finish. I think if he does, it might be a late finish. But I don't see Vettori's wrestling being able to dethrone Adesanya.
And I kind of think exactly on the same lines as far as like Adesanya maybe like bit off a little too much, like trying to get like Blachowicz. As I see a friend of the program, Justin, on hold. Look, this dude, he's walking through the forest of dead bodies in Poland. Like, and that's not the end all be all, but he's serious. He's a serious guy. And
lets you further know what you're dealing with.
If you want to go up that much, maybe not the best idea, but I have a hard time thinking Vettori has any kind of angle here as far as like wrestling his way out of this. I don't know. I mean, it is the main event here, so I don't think it's going to be like just easily done like early on, but I'm just having a tough time seeing like any way he wins this fight.
I think if Vettori approaches this fight the way he has his last couple fights, where he tries to show off his stand-up in the first round, it will be over quickly, because Adesanya is probably technically the best striker in MMA right now. Not the most powerful, but the best striker in MMA right now. So if Vettori tries to, do what he said the last couple fights, be like, oh no, I'm going to show off my stand-up, it'll be over pretty quickly. Adesanya has shown he can be taken down. The thing is, since that first Vettori fight, he has fought better wrestlers than Vettori and not been taken down. Again, take Blachowicz out of it, because, again, Blachowicz probably outweighed him by 30 pounds by the time the fight started. So I don't see it happening. Maybe he will be able to get Adesanya down. I don't think he'll be able to keep him down. I think Adesanya will retain his title here.
It doesn't line up as a good matchup for someone that's like their real strength is wrestling. Like Adesanya, he's wily enough to get out of there, and then if they stand up and they're actually like trading punches, man, he's got quick hands too. So
yeah, he does. All right, so next fight, we have the co-main event, another title fight here. We have for the flyweight title, Deiveson Figueiredo taking on Brandon Moreno. Also a rematch. These two fought back in December of last year. That was a majority draw, although of note, Deiveson Figueiredo was deducted a point for a groin strike in the third round. So take that out, and he wins this, wins it easily. I thought their first fight was weird. I kind of thought that was Brandon Moreno, maybe not at his best, but fighting really well, and Figueiredo not fighting at his best. This is another one that I think Figueiredo should have him. This is a guy that beat Joseph Benavidez in back-to-back fights. TKO'd him one fight. He didn't win the title there because Figueiredo showed up overweight, but then he got his weight right the next fight and then choked Benavidez unconscious. Then the fight after that got Alex Perez got him with the guillotine. Moreno, I'm not trying to discredit him. He is, undefeated his last 6 fights, 4 wins, 2 draws. Before he got the first fight against Figueiredo, he did get an impressive TKO win over Brandon Royval. But I think we get the better version of Figueiredo, the one that we saw before the last fight. I think he wins this one fairly easily. Probably, God, Figueiredo is such a well-rounded fighter. He can knock him out. He can submit him. I think he's pretty much even on his knockouts and submissions in his career. I don't see, unless, again, we get the best Moreno and the worst Figueiredo again, I think Figueiredo kind of walks through this one as well.
Yeah, I again inclined to agree. I feel like Figueiredo's too well-rounded to let that kind of slip through his fingers again, and allow that to happen. I think he has too much, just a little bit too much, like kind of outclassed this guy, but I don't know. Brandon is a good fighter. He's a game fighter for sure. But
for sure.
I don't see it like really coming around for him right now. Unless, I mean, if maybe he hits him and just like cleans him out with like one, magical kind of just got him square kind of thing. But otherwise, I think Figueiredo just has all the tools. And it's going to be a tough road for Moreno on this one.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I saw in the comments Justin, the Fight Phlebotomist, agrees with that one as well. So let's go to the next one. Again, this one is just, for my money, the one that I'm looking forward to the most. We got a welterweight fight between Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz. I mean, how can you not be excited about a Diaz fight? We're looking at, Leon Edwards, 8-fight win streak.
The answer to that is you cannot. You cannot.
This is true. Yes. Leon Edwards had an 8-fight win streak before his last fight, where he had the no contest for the eye poke against Bilal Muhammad. And he was dominating that fight against Muhammad. Like it was only the second round, but Edwards was clearly in control. Then again, got the eye poke, and Muhammad could continue. Diaz, this is his first fight in a while, I think, since he had the
long time
the doctor stoppage in the bad motherfucker title championship loss to Jorge Masvidal. But again, with Diaz, man, you just know he's gonna bring it. There's a guy, 8-time fight of the night, multiple time performance of the night. And as much as I love my heart says Nate Diaz, I'm gonna go with my head on this one. I will say Edwards, but I will be rooting for Nate Diaz. I mean, how can you not root for a guy who, does his, as the video you showed me today, his press conferences in front of it, the image behind him is just a dirt hill.
And he wasn't even actually there. He chose the dirt hole background. Like, how can you not root for this guy?
I think what was the comment on Twitter? Like the top comment was like, why is his photo the hill where he hid his weed and knives when he was 9?
Look, anytime a Diaz brother is involved, yes, we are biased, as we're Valley boys over here, but
of course, 209, homie.
Also,
I'm not from the 209, but 209, homie.
Just Valley strong. Just throw up that V. These fools are legit psychopaths. Like, I mean, they will die on their feet. Like, he will fight until they stop it, or he wins, or he just gets knocked out. Like, there's no in between on that. There's no like, I thought that was kind of like shifty or kind of questionable. Like, no, we know what's going to happen. Like, either he is going to get knocked out, or it's going to go the entire distance, and he's going to have like an incredibly destroyed, bloody face. You know what you're signing up for when you watch a Diaz fight. So I love it.
Yeah, and to the point you just said, neither of these guys is going to get tired. Leon Edwards has done 3- and 5-round fights many a times. The Diaz brothers, for fun, in their off time do triathlons. So I mean, like as far as conditioning goes, both these dudes can do 15 minutes, no problem. So I mean, this is going to be an exciting fight. The Diaz brothers are incapable of boring fights. Leon Edwards can bring it himself. This is absolutely the fight to watch on this card.
I agree. I mean, I know Adesanya, as the like kind of the showpiece here, as this is what we're making the card on. But it's weird with UFC too, because especially their relationship with the Diaz brothers that constantly like troll them and cause problems for them, but they know people will always tune in for a Diaz brother fight. Like they are willing to die in the ring. Like that's you can't like deny that. So there is definitely something to be said for that.
And then just kind of quick notes on the other two fights on the main card. We got a welterweight fight between Damian Maia and Bilal Muhammad. This one intrigues me because it's the submission wrestler, the submission fighter versus the wrestler. So you would think, Bilal Muhammad would be at a disadvantage because what's the wrestler going to do? Take down the other guy. But then the submission expert's like, all right, I'm on my back. Cool. No worries. But Muhammad is pretty good at top control. So, this one, I kind of have gone back and forth on it. I think like the fight for bottomist, I've seen the comments here. I will take Bilal Muhammad. I think he'll be able to take Maia down, but stay out of danger. Stay out of, any of those crafty submissions from the bottom. I think this could kind of wind up being a bit of a boring fight, a win by dry hump, as wrestlers like to call it. So this one could be a bit of a boring fight, but I'm just intrigued to see Bilal Muhammad continue to step up his competition. He's a lot of promise here. Guy's got he's 18-3, I think is his record. A lot of promise, and now he's stepping up in the competition. See how he does. And then just the last fight on the main card. I think this one, the Fight for Bottomist and myself are disagreeing on. So we got the Scottish psychopath Paul Craig.
Does bring up a perfect time to bring in the Fight for Bottomist.
Bring him in.
And also the Fight Doctor, of course, on the Jupiter Records and Tapes Celebrity Hotline. Joining us via satellite, No ID Justin.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, bud?
How we doing tonight?
Pretty damn great. Looking forward to the pay-per-view.
This is going to be a fun one, dude. This is going to be an exciting one, man. I'm pumped for this card, top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies on the late arrival. I tried to explain to my supervisor that the Fight Phlebotomist was in high demand to, provide second opinions for the Fight Doctor. But, unfortunately, they don't really care.
Well, you have duties to, uphold here. Come on.
You said duty. You said duty.
You are beholding to the fans of this program.
Well, especially when I explained to him how lucrative my contract is to do this segment,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would get the ball rolling, but it didn't.
That doesn't really move the needle at all.
No, and I do apologize. There is a neighboring church that will be releasing here any second, so I will do my best to shade out background noise. But yeah, again, this is going to be an exciting card. I saw that where the good doctor is going with his brain. I am leaning towards my heart. I will totally pick the Valley Boy. As I chimed in, all he does is smoke bong loads and choke people out, and he's fresh out of bong loads, so he's very irritable this weekend. So.
He came to do two things.
Yeah,
and that's it.
So I will never not pick a Diaz brother. I mean, honestly, if they came out 2 weeks from now and they were like, "Hey, Francis Ngannou is going to fight Diaz," I'd be like, "Fuck, give me Diaz, bro."
Gotta go Diaz. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's got a puncher's chance. I mean,
yeah, totally.
Will not,
he's the only guy on earth that has a puncher's chance against Francis Ngannou.
They don't care. They don't care about anything. I
No,
mean,
it is. It's gonna because I think I'm a big fan of Bilal Muhammad. I think he's an exciting fighter to watch, and the fact that he's so low down on this card like is a testament to how stacked this card is. These are uh, all exciting fights in my opinion. I'm looking forward to Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, yeah. Like I think the only two we disagree on, and again, I'm only going with my head because I think the last 3 times I've gone with my heart, it's missed. So that's why I'm going with my head on this one. But again, I'm rooting for Diaz, but I think Edwards is going to win. And the other one that we disagreed on is of course, the opening fight of the main card, light heavyweight bout between the Scottish psychopath Paul Craig and Jamal Hill. I saw in your predictions you went with Hill. Look, he's coming off a nice TKO win over Ovid St. Preux. I mean, that's a former heavyweight or light heavyweight title contender. And he's got one. I think he's undefeated other than one no contest, which he actually won that fight and then tested positive for marijuana, which at the time was illegal. For what reason? Who knows? But one with the deal. But Paul Craig is that's a dude I love. I mean, he's had
He trains
19
with the
fights.
Diaz brothers.
There you go. There you go. Paul Craig has had 19 fights. One has gone the distance. I mean, he's a dude that does not get paid by the hour. I think he's got like 12 submissions to his record, 2 knockouts. I love guys that are just like, fuck it, I'm going for it. Like, I'm not fighting 15 minutes. Fuck that shit. So I'm going to take Paul Craig on this one. I just think he's got a little bit more experience than Hill. But yeah, hey, I got no issue with Hill. I actually like your pick on that one.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. More often than not, the fight phlebotomist and the fight doctor tend to agree on most things. I feel like
Yes.
the both of us do our due diligence to try, for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, we try and
Of
separate
course.
a little bit here and there. Maybe one goes with his heart, one goes with his brain, or vice versa. That does happen.
Well, shoots. There's been multiple times out here where you and I are just like, before we'll ask who you pick, and like, all right, I'm just going to pick the other guy just so we can be different.
Yeah, a little peek behind the curtain there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, chill out, Stephen A. All right,
We're doing
hot
the
takes.
we're doing the
Give
PTI
us
thing.
what you really, really feel. And yeah, I mean, as it does pertain to the Diaz fight, I feel like he's probably going to get knocked out in a brutal fashion. But
How dare you?
Diaz brothers don't really get knocked out.
I'm so torn though because they refuse to get knocked out.
Did
It's
you
just
not
like-
see his background? Did you not see the dirt
I saw the background. I love the
Like,
background. He was
Nobody
in
who
that
picks a
hole.
dirt background is ever getting knocked out. Ever.
He chose that. He chose that background.
Yeah,
did not
he
know you
chose
could,
to never
yeah.
get knocked out as well.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
He will probably die in the octagon. Not in this fight, but at some point when he's fighting 80 years from now, it's gonna happen.
Hey, if he dies, he dies, and I'm sure he would reiterate that.
That's true.
And yeah, he fully accepts that. And also the pretty much well-known medical benefits by now of CBD or THC, whatever it may be.
There's only 2 ways a Diaz brother leaves this earth: smoking or choking, bro. That's it.
That's it, man. That's it. By the way,
I can't deny any Diaz brother. Like
just
let him bang.
just so I don't forget, and since we have the fight with Bonos here, he can jump in on this too. Let's bring CEO Nick back on. Nick, what was the question that you wanted to pose?
Yeah, track. Oh, Connor, stop.
He's
Please,
fine.
Connor, stop.
Going toward following this whole week, I saw it was a crossover from the boxing world to the MMA world with Clarissa Shields, and she actually got a win via knockouts. I was like, oh, so is this potential start now of a crossover where you're going to start to see like boxers get tested and try the waters of the octagon now?
So, I'm going to run with this one real quick, not to cut anybody off there. This isn't a first. I want to say James Toney. I think James Toney tried to get in the octagon at one point.
Yeah, and Randy Couture killed him.
Yeah, there's been a few kind of over the hill boxers that have tried to make that jump. I'm not ruling it out. Now, I think as more time goes on and the more the UFC grows and boxing, for lack of a better term, shrinks in popularity, I think you're going to see a lot of boxers even that are relatively cross trained in terms of. And what I'm saying is, I think in 70s, 80s, and things of that nature, guys were just boxing. That's it.
Mhm.
But I think now, even if that's your proficiency, like you're going to be a boxer, you're hard pressed to not do any type of outside, cross training in terms of, say wrestling for stamina or, like just anything. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu seems to be something
Yeah.
that can benefit all athletes. So, I think it's not going away. You're going to see a lot of people making that jump. And the other thing I think that's going to factor in is, this celebrity boxing crap is going to run its course. We're going to run out of people that anybody wants to pay $90 to watch do a fake fight. And I think what you're going to see is as the UFC money continues to grow and the novelty boxing money continues to drop, I think you're going to see a lot more of that. You're going to see potential up and coming boxers or maybe middle fringe boxers that just say, hey, why don't I just go cross train in some wrestling for a little bit? And even if I'm the fifth guy on a card at the UFC, my money's going to be good, So it's definitely not going away. And yeah, that was an impressive, just to what brought the question initially. That was an impressive performance by her last night. Was that in the PFL? Was that what that was
Pro
in?
fight, yeah, pro fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's not a bad league. You know what I mean?
No,
There's
it
some
is not. You're right.
decent performances in there, and I think but that's what you're going to see more. I think you'll see people kind of sliding into side leagues like that. I don't think you're going to see another retired James Toney jumps in the octagon with Hall of Famer Randy Couture. Like you're not going to see that crap anymore because yeah, it's just guys are too specialized now, man. And it's just why go in there and embarrass yourself unless the money's just tremendous. And right now, the money isn't. So it's go where the money is.
Dude, yeah, you said everything I was going to answer. You nailed it right on. I know when people think of boxers, like, you always think of like how much money Mayweather's getting, Canelo's getting, whatever. Like, there's only 5 boxers that are making crazy money.
And they
All the
don't
other
want
guys
to
in the
fight each
card?
other. Like,
Right, yeah, they're not going to. Yes, that's true as well.
they duck each other for like 8 years. Like, oh, this would like a really awesome fight 5 years ago. Like, what do you do?
Oh no.
But yeah, like other than those like 5 guys, like the rest of the card isn't making that much. Like I would have to look into it more, but I do think you're right. Where probably some lower card UFC guys are getting paid more per fight than some of these guys on these random boxing cards. So
Well,
you're right, the money.
Sorry, I was just gonna say the beauty of being on a card at a UFC event is the performance bonuses. Like boxing
Mhm.
doesn't have that. Boxing Showtime isn't giving dudes $1 million bonus for knockout of the night. Like that type of shit
Right.
doesn't happen in boxing. And I think that's something that could even draw people. And again, we're talking fringe guys. Like I don't think we're gonna wake up tomorrow and one of the Klitschko brothers is jumping in the octagon or something. Like it's not gonna be anything like that. It's gonna be kind of fringe guys, that maybe are towards the tail end or maybe haven't found their way.
So I actually found an answer to that question for like obviously below the main card or even below like the co-main event. For like say for beginning pro boxers / to boxers who have at least 5 years of experience, the low is $22,000. The average is $51,370. But there's the fact that they still have to pay for their own travel and sometimes even their own lodging.
Right.
But I mean, you will get some kind of bonus on the pay-per-view buys and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, just in general, I feel like, look, Tyler and I both love boxing. I know Nick and Justin are kind of in that same like zone as well. Like, I mean,
I pulled Bernard Hopkins out of my back pocket last week, man. I love boxing. I'm a long-time boxing fan.
There is nothing like just it's fight night. Like, we got a main event, we got a championship going on in boxing. But I feel like it's going away. Like, and UFC, for better or worse, because, except for the very top guys, they get paid probably not what they're worth, but at least like, who the actual world champions are. Like, man, woman, whatever weight class. Like, at least it brings some kind of structure into it. Like, this is it. This is the top. And if you're the best of this, then you're the best. Like, boxing is just so confusing with, well, he or she has
Well, wait a
3
second.
belts, but they're not,
Who's
they're champion of this one. So
who's
now we have,
holding
like,
the who's holding the Ring Magazine Intramural Intercontinental American #1 contender belt? Like, who's
They're
holding
unde-
it right now?
Yeah, they're undefeated. I mean, all right, this guy's been fighting in bars, but look,
You're like,
he's coming in with a 99 and 8, like, just totally, like, no one could touch him. He's got the belt. Like, so at least UFC kind of puts it in one place, like, for better or worse, and they promote the fighters, and they got the ESPN deal. It's just more of like
and the Venom deal. And the Venom deal.
Oh, let's not forget about the Venom deal, of course. Yes.
And all that money that they're gonna get from suing Mark for streaming illegally.
Fucking Mark, dude.
Dude, as I said, he ain't got it. I mean, you're tapping the dry vein. Like, this fool don't got the money. There's no way.
I just made a picture of Cedric, the entertainer from Original Kings of Comedy. Hey, dog. Tell him I ain't got it.
Tell him I could put something on it. I'll put $30 on it right now. Like,
I'm wondering,
you know.
does it bother the CEO when we're in the 4-way split cam like this, and I drop my camera out, and it just looks like Dak Prescott is looking at him and laughing because he's a Giants fan? Does that bother him?
no, because we're in the same shitty division. So, and
Oh, I'm sorry. Is your quarterback the greatest athlete to ever endorse Jordan Brand? I don't think so.
my God,
Gentlemen, please, a little decorum, please.
They were gonna sign him, but they were like, dude, he fucking got tackled in the open field by air.
He got excited, all right? Look, he saw pay dirt and he spazzed out. It could happen to anyone. It was on national TV.
He was looking for somebody to throw a dime to, man.
I never
Wait,
been here.
Man, new season coming up. We'll see. But last question on the this crossover for boxing and MMA. Crossover between boxers into the MMA field with their stand-up, like with their boxing background, does it already kind of put them at an advantage? I know Tyler and Justin were saying, hey, like ideally you like just get you a quick wrestling background for the stamina, and it should work out. I say yes. What do you guys think? It's a good crossover, and they're already coming with some type of like foundation / advantage into it.
I'm gonna be real brief and then give way to the expert doctor. Matchup based, man. Matchup based. You throw an experienced boxer in there with a guy who's just primarily a striker, he's gonna have a good shot. But you throw James Toney in with Randy Couture, and he's getting his fucking ass beat. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So.
Yeah, obviously it is styles make fights, they always say. Like, I think coming in, boxing definitely doesn't hurt because all fights start on their feet. But if you just come in just as a striker and kind of don't really pick much else up, other than, winning a few, local matches at, an Indian casino, you're not going to do well. I mean, you're going to have to pick up some wrestling. You're going to have to pick up some jiu-jitsu, but it doesn't hurt. I mean, like they always say, wrestling is the best base because you can always take a guy down and just lay on top of him and get a win that way. Plus, wrestlers are known for their crazy workout, their ethic, their cardio, all that good stuff. But I mean, I think coming in just purely as a boxer isn't the worst thing in the world.
It's definitely not. But let's just to put that in perspective. Give me the best boxing welterweight on the fucking planet. Throw him in an octagon with Usman, and it's over in 30 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, that's why you don't see the stunt fights going to MMA. Like, all the stunt fights are boxing. Like, all right, there's rules, right? We're just gonna stand and like punch each other, but all this other stuff that comes into MMA, like, no, they don't want it like that.
Well, and to Ronnie's point, where's the boxer who's boxing bears? Where's the boxer who's punching fucking dead man hangman's trees in the middle of the fucking Polish forest? Like, where is that boxer? He doesn't exist.
Don't exist.
A boxer might have an advantage at heavyweight. If you came in just purely as a boxer, maybe you could do okay in heavyweight, but I think any other weight class going to take a little bit of work elsewhere.
It's like even heavyweight. I'm hard pressed to like throw fucking Joshua in there or throw fucking Wilder in there against Francis and Ngannou. Like, dude,
Well, okay,
I
okay,
don't know, man.
that's
Yeah,
not
but
even fair.
if
That's the world champ. I'm not talking about just like straight world. So like if you threw
No,
a
I
boxer
got you.
against,
Yeah,
against
I think to me,
at the end of the day, a boxer has a puncher's chance.
yes,
the appealing thing of MMA is like, as I said, they do have like one overruling body, like for better or worse, because I feel like these guys could definitely make more on their own, like selling their own fights. But you know who the champ is. And also, MMA is so much more of like, all right, you could box, but what if I just like kick you in the side of the leg and drop you, like, and then I'm on top of you, like it's so much more that goes into it. So I feel like boxing, they're just totally letting it go right now. Like the Paul brothers, like, come on, dude, are these like the world famous boxers that we know now? And if so, boxing is dead. Like that's all I could say.
I have a question.
bring it.
Who's streaming tonight?
Me and Dana want to know.
Hey, me and Dana White want to know
Oh, Connor, stop.
who's streaming tonight.
I mean, boxing, it could still get back there. Like worldwide, there
Take a lot
are.
of work though.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work. I mean, like any country on this earth could produce like an elite boxing champion or potential champion. Like that's kind of the glory of it. Like kind of what's entertaining about like soccer to me. Like
I just feel
great
like
players can come from nowhere. But
boxing is just looking at like FIFA and the Olympic Committee, the IOC, like, hey
It's
man, if
just-
they're still operating, we can do it too.
yeah, but boxing, there's like 5 FIFAs. That's the problem. Like FIFA's already fucked. And then you add in like 4 more. We don't even know who's the champion. Like what are we paying for? What are we trying to watch? So at least UFC like gets the best of the best sometimes, if they're not banned, for other reasons, in one place, and then they fight all the time. It's not like ducking. Like, man, like obviously these 2 guys or girls, they should fight right now. Like that's the fight to be made, and they don't fight for like 5 years.
I think, I mean, one of the biggest issues is, like you said, and not even just the organizing bodies, but also the actual fight promoters. There's too many of them, and none of them would be willing to give up any of their cut to get like a unified system. That's just never going to happen.
And the money
I
is so
mean-
big. Like, I don't blame them necessarily when it comes to that, because, like, Oscar De La Hoya is getting paid crazy money on fights that he's not even involved in.
As a huge fight fan, I'm just holding out hope for 70-year-old leader of the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao, getting in the ring with, 68-year-old celebrity boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Hey, Ron, do you know why? Do you know why Oscar De La Hoya is getting paid so much money?
Finally, last one. I'm a good
Oh,
friend
why?
of yours, Oscar De La Hoya, has announced he's coming out of retirement to box again. I just wondered if you had any.
Cocaine isn't cheap. It's expensive. Got to make money.
Thanks, Dana.
It's not
There you
cheap.
go.
Costs money.
It's expensive.
And that is why boxing will just continue to die a slow death of YouTube celebrities fighting washed up like fools that should have been retired. Like,
Or non-boxers.
yeah, I mean, honestly, like Fox has like PBC and some of these other like different kind of events that they could show for boxing. And it's just like all the up and coming talent it doesn't like make it to the point of a pay-per-view, where in the meantime UFC had probably like 3 pay-per-views of like proven bona fide men and women that are just like champions. So it sucks for me.
You all right, Nick? What happened there?
It also sucks that we can't get.
Oh, he broke out of the cone.
Yeah. I know they've tried something similar before, but almost like the Ultimate Fighter reality show. Like if there was enough, like enthusiasm and attention on boxing, maybe we could get something like that, where like you get 20 dudes living in a house trying to compete, like whatever it is. Same scenario.
They had that years ago on USA called The Contender, hosted by Sylvester Stallone.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I said, they've tried it before. I understand that. It's just like I feel like the UFC benefited so much from that run of the Ultimate Fighter series, just because even like the 8 dudes who don't win, that's just filling your stable and getting more exposure for those names. So it's like 100%. At the end of the day,
you see those guys later on, like on undercard fights or fight nights or whatever.
You don't even have to spend any extra money on promotion. Like you're making money and getting more eyeballs on your product, and you're building your young stars before they even enter a legit UFC octagon. So it's, like that was smart. That was good process by the UFC. So
yeah, you're right. It's crazy when you look back at that first Ultimate. Like nowadays, Ultimate Fighter, like maybe 1 or 2 of them will have a 3 or 4 fight career in the UFC, but that first Ultimate Fighter, like 12 of those guys had like long careers in the UFC. So yeah, you're right.
And even what you were saying speaks to like how much of a brand UFC has built. Like that's how hard it is to get in now. Like everyone sees the technique of like everyone getting in one place, and look, we know who is going to be the best, who has a puncher's chance, a contender. Like, all right, you made it off the show, fight your way up. But boxing, it's just like so all over the place. Like, it's just different federations, promoters, especially like Tyler said, that all want the cut, and so they hold off on like
a new weight class every 3 pounds too. That's
like Bob Arum, you son of a bitch.
They can't get out of their own way. So I am like fully like on board with a lot of UFC fighters do not get paid enough. But if you're part of that, like just promotion program, whatever, you're out there. Like you're on ESPN. Like it does suck. Like you probably are worth more if you fought on your own. But then you're just going to be like some random boxer.
If America's Sweetheart and our personal favorite, if Derek never fought another fight, he's done enough just putting his personality on display that guy would get endorsements. He'd be calling fights from the side somewhere. Like he's got a career. Just
fuck what they talking about. USA in his hoe.
USA in his hoe.
Yeah. He definitely had a political career.
That's right. I'd vote for him.
Question with like boxing credentials, as far as to get your to be registered as a professional boxer, how easy is it as compared to then like being a mixed martial artist? Because that would be the key as well. Is like if it's easy to become a pro boxer, it's like, hey, we're just open the floodgates. You can do it. You can do it. Hey,
it's a million times harder, dude. Have you seen Shinigami?
No.
You can fight in backyards in the middle of fucking shitty ass towns, and fucking throw dudes off of pieces of plywood that have graffiti on them. Like you can do that and burst your way into the UFC. Last time I checked, there ain't no dudes organizing backyard like sanctioned boxing matches. You know what I mean? Like
look, they used to have the tough man competitions, but those kind of died out in the
those were so 90s. Great, dude.
I love tough man. Just like 4 2-minute rounds, just dudes just like gassing out after like 3 minutes. I loved it.
Yeah, that was good stuff, man. Bring back Tough Man. Bring back Tough Man. Bring back American Gladiator. Save the world.
There you go. But to your question, like, I mean, I know to get licensing in boxing, pretty much as long as you have a semi-functioning brain, they will allow you to fight. Like, as long as you're not failing CAT scans, You can
Yeah,
pretty
and
much
if
get
I'm
your
not
license.
if I'm not mistaken, I believe you do have to have a certain number of amateur fights.
That yes,
Um,
you do. You do.
but yeah, there's just again to what we were saying with the multiple titles and 5 different FIFAs. There's so much politicking in boxing, and that's been the root of the problem
Yeah.
since Don King. Like it's not like it was ever not there. It's been there for our whole lives in the sport. It's just grown and exacerbated over the last couple decades to the point where, and then you add to that the growth of UFC and the popularity of that sport, and it's similar to like why soccer isn't big in America because there's so many other options. Like
Mhm.
dudes aren't coming up like I want to play soccer when they can play football or play basketball or play baseball. There's different options, and I think the same thing happens with a lot of these boxers where it's like, do I want to fucking grind my ass off to be a boxer? And even if I'm the most talented dude on the planet, there's a good chance that I won't even make my way to the main scene. Or do I want to do some MMA training, jump in some UFC, you can do some backyard fighting, you can do some side promotions. Like there's way more outlets for those guys.
Bellator, PFL, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, too, the social media game from way back. If it's been around for a while, yes, I understand that. But also, too, it's just the reach at which social media can now advertise it and like kind of like spread your notoriety throughout the world is kind of like it's easier now. So it's like, oh,
I would pay cold hard cash to have Bernard Hopkins in the prime of his career with access to social media.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? Could you even imagine?
Like Twitter being around at that time.
You know what? I'm actually kind of disappointed his social media game isn't crazier than it is now. Though, like kind of old man Hopkins could still be super entertaining.
Oh, got a close game on the
No,
Hawks.
that guy's an animal.
He is, no doubt, no doubt.
Got a score
Yeah,
update for that Sixers game.
Oh yeah, how far behind are you on it? What do we have for a score?
Looking at the third quarter right now.
Okay.
Right now 103.89. Man, Hulu. Certain streaming service has definitely stepped their game up with these live.
All right. Well, I don't know where Ron is, but I think let me see here. Actually, since we're on the topic, let's get into the NBA playoffs here. Earlier today, we did have Philly take a 2-1 series lead over Atlanta. I don't know how much of that game either of you guys got to catch.
Oh, they won.
Yeah, I'm sure you were loving that.
Oh, nice. I mean, it's Philly. I'm like still with Embiid on the court. It's just pretty much now a matter of when they're gonna close the series out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, as long as Embiid's healthy, that's pretty much going to be their series. I think Atlanta really had no answer for him at all. Also, everybody's not draining the shots like they were their last few games, and that's definitely going to be a problem. I know I've heard Ron talk about that. Nick, I think I've heard you and Justin both talk about that on the show, where Atlanta, kind of the whole team was clicking, and not so much right now. So that's definitely going to be a problem for them going forward.
What I have seen in the matchups now too is like, especially off the pick and roll, they're throwing bigger bodies at Trae Young, and that's something I was talking about earlier. It's like, hey, throw a big body at him, wear him down, make it uncomfortable for him to get access to those easy shots, or especially that double shot. Hey,
we got him back. Back.
I'm back. I fought my way off hold. Fuck you. First of all, fuck everything. All you just said. No, I'm just kidding. But as far as the NBA goes, yeah, I feel like it honestly, it doesn't matter. Like the Hawks, really good story, but the Nets are going to win the whole thing. Like, let's just be real. So, like, I'm just kind of resigned to that, unfortunately. I mean, dude, the Bucks were up like 33-10 or something after the first quarter last night, and they won by 2 points. So, like, that kind of just lets me further know what's really going on. Beyond that, I just hope the Clippers die in some terribly embarrassing fashion. That's all I'm rooting for at this
I
point.
hope they burn in hell.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Yeah, Clippers. Yes, I mean, man, Kawhi did everything he could. He did everything he could, but yeah, the rest of that team definitely didn't help. Plus, Spider Mitchell's
Because
just
they
playing
ain't
out of his
beating the
mind
Stifle Tower. You can't beat the Stifle Tower.
right now. It's like Spider Mitchell's just going off for Utah right now. He is playing out of his mind, and the Clippers
I
have
think,
no answer for
the
it.
greatest tragedy of all is that the Clippers are making me root for a Utah team.
Do you guys think that,
I would
like,
never root for the Jazz. God, I hate the freaking Jazz.
you know, there's all that shit I was telling you guys about a couple weeks ago about, like, you know, the locker room tear and, like, you know, none of the Utah team liked Donovan Mitchell, and, like, it was a big feud between him and Gobert. Do you think they're just trying to spite each other right now? Like, they're both going out and just bawling their asses off to spite the other one, and, like, that was the plan all along? Like, let's just cause infighting between our two best players so that they're so competitive against each other that we just beat the shit out of the Clippers.
You know what, man?
Well
If
played,
that's
Utah.
if that's what if that's what it takes, dude. Spite's an amazing thing. You can do a lot of things driven by hate. So
it's very powerful. And look, as I said, I mean, maybe in the long run, yes, this is a great move for them, but the Clippers still have to wake up and be the Clippers. Like, Kawhi is great. Pandemic P is decent. Like, in the NBA, he's pretty good. But beyond that, it's just like, dude.
Hey, greatest athlete to ever come out of Palmdale.
I can't root for these fools. Like, even as a Laker fan, dude, Clippers. Who cares about the freaking Clippers? I hate the Clippers so much. I'm sorry.
Sounds like you care about them.
Sorry, I have been thoroughly enjoying Ben Maller's monologues, though, on the nights when they...
Oh, God. Like, I haven't listened to them, but I can only imagine they're so depressing. They're either depressing or him just making excuses. One of the
It's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Look, to Tyler's point, yes, it does weigh on my mind. They're obviously advancing beyond the Lakers. So, yes, I will give that credit where credit is due. But still, I cannot get over just like the Clippers.
Bro,
dude.
they're good. Ronnie, man, come on, dude. Like, Steve Ballmer has a ton of money. He doesn't need to be living in your head rent-free.
Developers.
Ronnie, just let them hang their semifinal appearance banner. Dude, just let them have their fun.
Hey, imagine being a Sacramento Kings fan, all right, dude?
It's rough. It's rough, bro.
More respectable than being a Clippers fan. I will say that.
Imagine being a Knicks fan and thinking you were finally returning to prominence, and then Trae Young comes in and stomps on your testicles.
But still more respectable than being
there.
a Clippers fan.
Where he's supposed to be there. And because of that, they've thrown the whole universe off. The Yankees suck now.
Dude, we weren't supposed to be there.
Yankees suck.
We only had like 60 days off from winning the championship.
My team wasn't supposed to be there, and my team lived up to their end of the bargain. All right.
Hey, at one point,
yeah, for sure.
We did what we had to do, and
at
not
one
be
point,
there.
the Kings were the 2 seed in the West.
Yeah, that was like a week into the season.
Hey, listen, they were there though.
That shit turned to ash rapidly, like a Vlade fucking heater, dude.
One drag for Vlade. Just burn that thing down.
Unfiltered too.
Dude, I hate Luka's dad. No, we're not drafting that guy. Fuck him.
Oh yeah, Camel White unfiltered, no doubt. Turkish gold.
100%.
No, I'm just again. Look, you guys. If you want to trash me, it's fine.
I feel like
Again,
at this
separate from
point,
the Laker fandom.
yeah.
It just the Clippers, dude. Who cares about the Clippers? Like, it's so troublesome to me. Like, every time you guys show up to the arena, you're just cool, like pulling your Bentley in, like past 4 Laker statues. Like, is that like just you've got to go somewhere else? Like, there's only one way out.
There's a statue of a guy that wore women's clothes in front of Staples Center, and there's not a statue of any Clippers player.
Taylor Swift still got that banner up there.
I was talking about De La Hoya, but whatever.
Well, I mean, yeah. It just further lets me know that the Clippers, you got to go somewhere else. You just have to be your own thing. You got to go somewhere else, or you will never be anything other than the Clippers.
Can we touch on the fact that Vlade Divac probably doesn't even smoke regular cigarettes? He's probably like that giant in that fucking Mickey Mouse cartoon that just picks up like a bale of hay, goes smoke, and then just fucking puffs it.
Just puffing. I mean, these Serbian guys, who knows? Who knows how they roll? Like I said, he could have drafted Luka, and just purely off a personal beef with him not liking his dad. He was
Luka's dad is a jerk, all right? He's a jerk.
Hey,
screw him.
I know they're not a sponsor, but Waze, if you could bring back the Vlade Divac voice navigation, I would really appreciate it.
Oh, God.
I believe right now they have Boy George. You can have Boy George give you directions.
I did. Boy George. Looking like a broke ass iced tea.
I want you to turn right.
All right.
I didn't realize it's 9:10. We're way overdue.
Yeah, screw it. I agree. Let's shut it down now. But
fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Do it back.
Live. Thank you guys for bearing with whatever tech difficulties. Also, on that note, I'm going to say go Vegas, please. Just as we get out of here. But Golden Knights, come on.
Yeah, give me Marc-Andre Fleury back in his hometown, dominating.
I mean, why not?
You know what? I'm gonna go the Islanders.
I do have a soft spot for the Islanders, but they were good back in the day, so I can't, really.
Tampa, Vegas.
Probably, yeah. Well, I don't know. Canadians kind of hot right now, but give me Vegas all the way. Let's go.
I mean, Vegas and Montreal, that's going to be just, even if you're not a real hockey fan, if you're just a casual playoff hockey fan, both goaltenders in that series are going to be really fun to watch. And that's
obviously it's set up to screw Vegas also because they have to live in their hotel the whole time. Thank you, Canada.
What about MAF, though? Does Marc-Andre Fleury just get to go to his house?
No, I don't think anyone's allowed to leave at all.
Yeah, you got to go to your hotel and stay there.
Bullshit.
In face, despite all the odds, Vegas will be our new Stanley Cup champion of 2021. I'm calling it right now.
I just can't root for them because they've never had a bad season.
No, I can root for them. I love Marc-Andre Fleury, and they got a guy named Stoner. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, it's fair reasoning.
March or so.
And that's my hockey expertise.
Justin's hockey takes new segment here.
I'm only if the Ducks were ever really contending in the era of the rising of the Vegas Golden Knights, I might feel some kind of way, but they have sucked ass in that whole time. So
Teemu Selanne and Paul Kariya are not walking through that door.
They're not walking through that door, fans.
They are not.
dude, it's just we gotta accept it. Like there's no way.
Nor is Gay Herbert.
Steve Ruchin is not walking through that door, fans.
Oh,
Come
Stevie
on.
Ruchin.
We-
Stanislav Chistov is not walking through that door.
It is what it is. But I only have any kind of like sentimental spot for the Vegas Golden Knights because one, a shout out to the Boo producer Tanaya laid a long shot bet on them that almost came through when they almost won the finals. And second of all, I mean, the NHL is dickheads. Like, you know how I feel about Gary Bettman. And
You
they
love
moved-
him.
Yes, that's what I meant to say when I said I hate him. They moved to all these places, and the expansion is terrible and whatever. But Vegas coming in and actually putting together a good team is like one low-key win for the NHL. So I do want that team to do well, especially be on the West Coast, out in the desert, whatever. Because like if they suck for a year, everyone's going to be like, oh, well, no, I don't care about hockey. Like, look at the long road back that the Coyotes had just to remain a team. So I am happy, and they do have a very nice arena and good fan support. Just give me a VGK all the way. And fuck Montreal also.
If Guy Lafleur were alive, he'd challenge you to a fight right now.
Fight me. See what happens, Guy Lafleur.
Right,
And
I got
on that
nothing else.
weird note, we will log off
Yeah.
for the night.
Let's just
After,
end it on Ronnie saying "fuck Guy Lafleur." That's where we're ending it.
Fuck you, Guy Lafleur. Come find me. I'm at 3777 Dwight Street, San Diego, California. Come see me in the street. I live across the street from a huge homeless encampment. I don't
Be
fear
very
nothing.
careful in that area. Yes.
And then a certain slim guy will come after you.
He might show up. Please believe that he will.
Please believe that. And this, Arkansas Slim got my back. Come on, Guy. Where you at? Show your face. Unless you're yellow. I mean, come on. I'm right here.
All right. On that note, let's go ahead. Let's call it a night. Justin, Nick, thank you so much for jumping on, as always. Definitely always appreciate having you guys on here.
Always my
Ronnie,
pleasure.
Ronnie, you got anything else to say before we get out of here?
Guy Lafleur.
Other than, yes.
Don't at me, bro. But I'm right here. Right here.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. We will be back here on Monday, recapping the sports weekend. Hope you'll have a good, safe weekend. We love you. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Hell yeah.